Alright, today we're talking about American Psycho. And this is a movie about a guy who kills because he's slightly inconvenienced. This man has full-blown OCD and a God complex. Someone breathes wrong, uses the wrong font on a business card, or gets a reservation at Dorsia before him, suddenly he's swinging an axe and throwing a chainsaw at you. And his philosophy for murder is, life has no meaning, so what's the point? He's so emotionally dead inside, the only way he can feel something is by killing. And killing gives him purpose, because nothing else makes him feel anything. His whole life is an empty treadmill of gym sessions, reservations, business cards, and pop culture trivia. He's basically a mannequin that can quote Phil Collins. He says it himself in 100 little ways. He doesn't have a real identity. He's a construct, a perfect mask designed to blend in with the other Wall Street clones. When you have no soul, what do? You look for some kind of stimulus, and for Bateman, death is that stimulus. Murder is the only time he feels something resembling power, intimacy, or reality. It's the only thing that cuts through the static, the regularness of life. He needs pain, his or someone else's, just to know he's even alive. And that's why the murders aren't even personal. They're random, mechanical. A guy with a better business card, a homeless man, a sex worker, it doesn't matter. He's not killing them, he's killing the void inside of himself. It's a kind of nihilism disguised as excess. He's not a criminal mastermind, he's an addict chasing a high. Murder is his version of drugs, and it's also why the movie feels so cold. There's no build-up, no moral arc, no catharsis, just an endless cycle of trying to feel something in a world that's turned human beings into objects. Bateman's a monster, but he's also the purest reflection of his culture. Everyone else in the movie is just as soulless as he is, and when he finally confesses, nobody cares, because the system he's in doesn't care about life or death. It only cares about appearances. He confesses to anyone that'll listen, but no one takes him serious, so that incentivizes him even more to keep killing. Why not? He'll never get caught. And this movie follows Bateman's descent into psychosis. He narrates like he's reading a skincare commercial while casually admitting to murder. Half the time you're not sure if anything's even real, like when he feeds an ATM a stray cat or calls his lawyer to confess everything and the lawyer doesn't even believe him. This movie traps you into Bateman's delusion. You're watching a killer, but you're also watching a narcissist self-destruct, and Patrick Bateman is a Wall Street investment banker, but you never know what he actually does because nobody in this movie actually works. His life is pure performance. He works out, listens to pop music like he's reading scripture. He's the embodiment of the American dream, as well as the American nightmare. And underneath his perfect skin and perfect hair, there's nothing. So Patrick has to fill that void with violence. He kills for no reason, just to fill something. It's like you're watching a man try to fill an existential hole with an axe. And his philosophy is very similar to Alex's from Clockwork Orange. I would say Vincent in Collateral, we'll get to that later, but Vincent is paid to kill. He's a professional. Patrick does it because to him murder is emotional masturbation. Patrick's entire personality is stolen. His speech patterns are copy-pasted from magazines, his opinions are rehearsed, his empathy is simulated. He doesn't have a personality disorder, he is one. When he kills, it's about control more than bloodlust. He wants to feel alive in a world where he's invisible, and nobody notices the difference. Nobody can tell when Patrick's pretending to be normal or when he's confessing to murder. That's how disconnected everyone is in this movie. You could literally act someone in front of them and they'd compliment your suit. And since Patrick's an unreliable narrator, we never know if he's actually killing anyone or just losing his mind, because the world Bateman lives in is absurd, and that's the point. This isn't necessarily a slasher film, it's a hallucination of consumer capitalism dressed up like a horror movie. And every person in Patrick's life is a walking corpse in an Armani suit. They all look and talk the same and mistake each other for other people. You got Paul Allen, and Paul Allen is a victim of circumstance, and that circumstance is being better than anything Patrick can do. So naturally he's got to die. And you got the infamous business card scene. You got a bunch of Wall Street guys sitting around a table flexing about paper quality, not cars or women or money, paper. This whole room treats typography like it's a measure of manhood. One guy pulls out his card, eggshell with Romalian type, and they all gasp like he just cured cancer. Then Paul Allen pulls out his. It's cleaner, classier, and it makes Bateman's look like his came from Kinko's. And you can watch him fall apart. His jaw locks, his hand trembles, and it's like you can hear the static in his head. Like that scene in The Godfather before Michael Corleone kills Sollozzo. And he's not jealous of Paul Allen, he's threatened by him. That card represents something Bateman will never be. Effortlessly cool. His entire identity is built on surface-level dominance. So when that illusion cracks, even slightly, he spirals. And that's why he kills Paul Allen. Not because of some rivalry or because he hates him. He kills him because he's intimidated by him. And when he invites him out, Allen doesn't even know who he's talking to. He confuses Patrick for some other guy. And in Bateman's world, being mistaken for someone else is worse than being nobody. So he gets him drunk, puts on Huey Lewis in the News, and buries an axe in his skull, just to prove to himself that he's in control. Bateman's life is so controlled and artificial that killing becomes his way of reasserting reality. It's the only time he feels anything close to being alive. And Paul Allen's death isn't even the climax, it's just an errand. It's what happens when Patrick has to face his own imperfections. And that's what makes this movie so disturbing. Bateman doesn't kill because he's psychotic in the traditional sense, he kills because everything in his life is meaningless, and the only way he can feel anything is by destroying something that looks more perfect than he does. And let's talk about Patrick's relationship with his fiancée Evelyn, because calling it a relationship is generous. It's more like two mannequins pretending to care while checking their reflections in a spoon. They're engaged, but there's no love there. Not even lust. It's a business merger, a social arrangement. She's cheating on him with his best friend, and he's fully aware and doesn't care. He's sleeping with her friends, prostitutes, anyone with a pulse, and a decent body fat percentage. Everyone in this world is in bed with each other, literally and metaphorically. It's just a bunch of narcissists who can't remember who they're pretending to care about. Their whole relationship runs on inertia. They're together because they're supposed to be. It fits the image. It's a box checked on the perfect life checklist. The suit, the apartment, the business card, the fiance. And it doesn't matter if they hate each other as long as the wedding photos look good. There's this scene where Bateman tries to break up with her in a restaurant and she just steamrolls over him. She doesn't even hear him. She's talking about dinner reservations while he's sitting there trying to confess that he feels nothing. She doesn't care. She doesn't even notice. And that's when you realize everyone in this world is deaf. They're all talking and nobody's listening. The relationships are just noise. It's a white-collar purgatory. Everyone's fucking each other, lying to each other, but mostly just trying to fill the silence so they don't have to look in the mirror. This movie's a social autopsy. Bateman doesn't live in a world of humans, he lives in a world of brands and placeholders. Every person is just another accessory to his ego, a prop for his performance. And he doesn't even like Evelyn, but he keeps her around because she looks good on paper. She completes the illusion. He's not killing because of her, but her presence reminds him that he's trapped in a life that's completely hollow. So when he snaps and starts murdering people, you kinda get it. The guy's surrounded by sociopaths pretending to be normal. Everyone's screwing everyone, no one feels anything, and the only way to stand out is by doing something truly insane. And since every relationship in this world is superficial, murder becomes the only real form of intimacy left for Patrick. And after Paul Allen winds up missing, now he's got Detective Willem Dafoe on his ass. He's obsessive, detail-oriented, socially awkward, and visibly uncomfortable in his own skin. He's basically Patrick with a badge. You can feel the OCD radiating off both of them in their scenes together. The tension isn't just cop versus killer, it's control freak versus control freak. And Willem Dafoe plays Detective Kimball like he's the same exact guy from Boondock Saints. The man literally sold the same performance twice and got 2 paychecks. That's efficiency. Willem Dafoe didn't even need an audition. He just changed the soundtrack from classical to Huey Lewis and called it a day. Honestly, it's genius. Why reinvent yourself when Hollywood keeps hiring you to play the same cop with an existential crisis? All the characters in this movie are interchangeable. They literally don't even know who each other are. Everyone keeps mistaking each other's names because they all wear the same suits, go to the same restaurants, bang the same women. They're like NPCs in a finance simulator, soulless, smug, and allergic to introspection. And what drives Patrick into becoming a madman is he's actually trying to find meaning in this hollow existence. And when that fails, he's driven to kill. Because in murder, at least there's a level of truth there. And the main difference between Bateman and his Wall Street buddies is simple. They all fantasize about having control, but Bateman actually tries to get it. But the biggest kill in this movie might be the truth itself, because once you start looking closely, the film starts glitching. People vanish, buildings reset, crime scenes don't exist. It's like we're watching a hallucination in a man's head that's rotting from the inside out. The first big clue is the ATM scene. Patrick feeds a stray cat into an ATM that literally says, "Feed me a stray cat." That's a psychotic break. And then you got the scene where he blows up the cop car by shooting a bullet at it. Last time I checked, shooting a bullet at a car doesn't make it explode. And then it's like it never even happened. He's never questioned about it. It's like he went 5-star mode in GTA and then put in the cheat code to make the stars go away. He confesses to his lawyer, saying he's killed maybe 20, maybe 40 people. He confesses to killing Paul Allen, and his lawyer doesn't even believe him. He says, "That's not possible, Patrick. I had dinner with Paul Allen in London." That's when your brain hits a wall because we saw him kill Paul Allen. Maybe that was Patrick's fantasy. Or maybe Paul Allen was mistaken for someone else. Who the hell knows? And that's the film's cruelest joke. Patrick Bateman spends the entire movie trying to prove he's somebody through status, money, and even murder. And in the end, he's not even real enough for his own crimes to count. The world around him doesn't even acknowledge his existence. Everyone's so self-absorbed, so trapped in their own narcissism, that mass murder barely registers. And that's the horror. Not the killings, not the blood, but the meaninglessness of it all. The murders might be fantasy, but the emptiness is real. And the whole thing could be in his head. He's so obsessed with surface level, status, image, looking the part. But when you look under the hood, there's nothing inside. So his mind invents purpose, violence, power, control. His killings are metaphors for every empty ambition he's suffocating under. He can't connect, can't feel love, so his only outlet is destruction. Not because he enjoys it, because that's the last remaining proof that he's real. And by the end, even that's taken away from him. If the murders are all in his head, he's not even a monster. He's worse. He's irrelevant. An American Psycho is a horror movie about a man whose world is so artificial that being a killer would almost make him more human. And what's ironic is Patrick Bateman is literally based on Tom Cruise. In the novel, there's a line where Bateman says he lives in the same apartment building as Tom Cruise. And he described Cruise as having this intense, friendly smile that looks like it's trying to convince you it's real. And when Christian Bale was prepping for this role, he studied Tom Cruise interviews. He was fascinated by how Cruise had this very intense friendliness, but nothing behind the eyes. It's like Cruise is a movie star playing the perfect man for so long that he's become a walking brand. And Patrick Bateman is what would happen if Tom Cruise had an existential breakdown and went on a murder spree. And Patrick Bateman is the idea that if you're handsome, rich, and successful enough, nobody will notice you're completely empty inside. And what's also ironic is Tom Cruise played a character in Collateral that was a nihilistic hitman that was largely inspired by Patrick Bateman. Which is funny because Tom Cruise is technically playing himself in Collateral, which is even scarier. But I love this movie. I first saw this movie when it came out in the theaters. Me and my buddy Ernie saw this shit, and holy shit, it blew our minds. At the time when this movie came out, I had never seen anything like it. And now all the movies today are trying to be like this movie. And what's also crazy is there's an extended universe. That movie Rules of Attraction, the main character in there, James Van De Beek, my ninja, is Patrick's brother. The author, he wrote both of those books, and they are completely different. One's like a college stoner dark comedy, and one's a slasher film, but they're both pretty damn good. I like both of those movies. But yeah, tell me some of your favorite scenes, your favorite quotes. Tell me what this movie means to you. And to the rest of you, I hope you have a good night. Be safe. Try getting a reservation at Dorsia now, you stupid fucking bastard. And God bless.